welcome to this week's video. This week we are continuing from our previous video for part 2 of our Melbourne trip. There is going to be a third part. We just had too much footage to fit into one episode. So we'll be doing our third and final part of our trip next week. Stop it! Stop it, stop it, stop it. So to make sure you don't miss that one, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and ring that notification bell. This week I get to show you the Botanic Gardens in Melbourne and the tour I went on with an Aboriginal guide, and then Greg and I went on the Colonial tramcar for dinner around the city. We'll be posting any relevant links in the description below, as well as a link to the video of Den reading his poem. It's a really beautiful poem and definitely worth checking out. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Don't forget to click the thumbs up if you do, and I will see you next week. So we're in Bodega Underground right now. Don't know if you can hear me. It's this cute little dive bar, very authentically Mexican. They have mezcal and tequila and delicious food, and I'm introducing it to Greg for the first time, so fingers crossed it goes well. They're mushroom quesadillas, and we may or may not have each taken at least one bite out of them. And sweet potato tacos and chicken and jalapeno and beans. So I'm guessing Greg's gonna go for the chicken, and I'll go for the sweet potato.
Okay. Yeah. He's got the drink thing happening.
Try it. It's really good. It's like a pancake with chocolate ice cream and caramel and cinnamon. Really, really good. So we just finished dinner at the Bodega Underground. It was my second time there, and I think Greg liked it. Awesome restaurant, highly recommend to everyone. And I'm just holding my phone right now, so it is incredibly shaky. Hope you guys are having a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow. I passed by this cozy little cafe yesterday while walking around and had to check it out. Only about a 15-minute walk from the hotel. I wasn't quite awake yet, but luckily they served caffeine and some yummy food, which was a nice treat before Greg headed into the office and I headed out into the cold. After getting Greg in a cab and going back to the hotel for my second tea of the morning, I made my way to the Botanic Gardens for an Aboriginal heritage tour.
The woman would go out and they come across these things. These are called lamandra, the spiny mat brush. Swipe the dirt off. See your double tooth? Have a chew. What does it taste like?
Almost like celery.
Yeah, a lot of people say that. They're strong. You can use them together or you can split them in half and you would plait those. What would you make? Baskets?
Yep.
Mat?
Nuts?
Rope. These are all dead here now. See the stuff here? But when they come out, they're like wheat. So what the Aboriginal woman would do, they collect a lot of those, mix it up into a dough and put it in their microwave. This is a grey kangaroo.
Okay.
When Aboriginal people kill an animal, nothing is wasted. Everything of the animal is used.
Yeah.
Even the bones of the kangaroo. They can make spear top, make necklaces, and they can use it for a lot of things.
As we wandered through the garden, it was clear that Den had spent quite a bit of time here, pointing out unusual or useful plants, and always setting himself up perfectly for the next punchline.
See these things?
Yeah.
When they first come out, they're sort of red and yellow.
Okay.
And they're nice and sweet. And the possum love it. And the Aborigines would make a nice sweet drink out of them. See, this is why it shouldn't be here.
Was it too dry?
No, I told her the joke.
What?
I told her the joke.
You told it a joke and it cracked up? I like it.
Well, look at it. Hey, you gotta laugh, don't you?
Along with his jokes and fun facts, Den shared his knowledge of the Aboriginal beliefs and culture.
But one thing you gotta understand, Lily, from the Aboriginal ways of life, and that is, when you take from the land, only take what you need. It's not about power, it's not about greed. It's about respecting and understanding.
We just finished the Aboriginal Heritage Walk. It was absolutely wonderful. My friend Cora suggested it. She works here at the gardens and highly suggested I take this walk. So just a solo walk for me and the guide, walk around the entire garden. His name was Dan and he was wonderful. He showed me different plants and what the Aboriginals would use them for, and at the end we ended up having a nice tea and sitting down looking at the original map showing all the different Aboriginal settlements and such, and he even took me through a poem that he had written. I'm so glad I came for the walk. It's wonderful to just be able to pop out of a busy, bustling city and be surrounded by trees and birds and plants. It's beautiful here. I'm just gonna spend the day wandering and hopefully get to see my friend. As I made my way out of the gardens, I found that I wasn't the only one getting an education in Aboriginal culture or enjoying the scenery today. I'm actually in front of the Shrine of Remembrance right now, just taking a break, charging my phone, and gonna do a little bit more wandering around before I walk back. So I just finished having some coffee with my friend Cora. It was so nice to catch up and see what she's been doing, and I got to explain this whole crazy YouTube adventure and what I've been up to. We actually met for the first time in Barcelona when I was traveling last year, and it's really nice to be able to come to a place like Australia and have people that you've met and get to see them multiple times by just visiting their city and getting to know it from their point of view. As I made my way back to the hotel, I got to see just how walkable the city is, with parks and gardens all along the pathway and everything relatively accessible. I walked past the National Gallery of Victoria, across the bridge over the Yarra River, through Federation Square and past Flinders Street Station and St. Paul's Church, and even got to see some impressive artwork on the way. Even though it was a beautiful walk home, I was so excited to see that hotel sign and finally be able to get back and sit down. And we're back. I'm exhausted. I'm so tired. So this morning, after breakfast with Greg, sent him off to the office and I went to the Royal Botanic Gardens. On the way back, I got to walk past the NGV, but unfortunately didn't get to go in because I wanted to make sure I got back in time to have a nap and probably shower. I should probably do that. Before our dinner tonight, we're going in the Colonial TRAMCAR, and we'll be riding the tramcar around the city while having a 3-course meal. So that sounds really nice. But I'm exhausted and my feet hurt and I just walked for an hour to get back, so it's bedtime. The Colonial Tramcar has been running since 1983, traveling through the city and surrounding suburbs such as Albert Park, St. Kilda and South Melbourne, and accommodating up to 108 passengers. Our 3-course meal started with dips, crackers, and bread, which were all very yummy. For our mains, I chose the vegetarian dish while Greg had the chicken option. That's really, really good. And they're keeping the boost. Dessert was also amazing. Bread pudding and pistachio custard ended the meal off nicely with some tea and coffee. So we just finished with our dinner on the tram. It was absolutely wonderful. The service was fantastic, the food was delicious, and the tram itself was really cute. Just went around the city, went all the way down to St. Kilda. I can't say we were really paying attention to where we were at any given time or anything that was outside, but the inside was really nice and there were a few birthdays on board. We only had one slight spillage, which is better than I was expecting for a moving train, but overall it was a really great night and we're both exhausted and ready to go home.